I will invite her. She is actually a counselor in Carmel Convent School, but she does a lot of counseling for CBSE and a lot of other institutions. Yeah, and I think you are also involved with the tele-counseling project of CBSE. So we are glad, yes, and we are so glad that you are taking in this session, and you have already taken many sessions in the past also. So it's over to you, Hemlata ma'am, and you can continue with your session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And I'll not waste my time in introducing. And it gives me an immense pleasure to begin with our first session for Global Healers. And we would like this chain to grow on. And let's begin with Positively Yours. And thank you, Annie ma'am, for such a beautiful, wonderful insights which you gave us. They were really informative, especially towards the end, the importance of mental health, which should take an central stage in our lives right now. And we are already seeing a pandemic knocking our doors, which is a psychological pandemic along with this COVID-19 pandemic. So undisputedly, disruptions from the COVID-19 crisis have immensely affected our lives, and it has dented the global economies, which we have seen. I mean, there have been complete effect on our financial status. It has created job layoffs. It has created so much uncertainty. It has given us a lot of stress, which ma'am has talked about in detail. And there has been security issues typically, which have caused and crippled us mentally. And since we are a young nation, and across the world, we are one of the youngest nation in the world. So we have the more of young population, which has, and the workforce, which has actually become a very anxious one. So, when we look at this, we were very sad. We were thinking, what next? I mean, what is next? There is so much negativity around. We can't go out. We can't meet people. There were many compulsions, compliance, which were put across on our lives. And suddenly we found ourselves in a bubble. Let me share my screen with you all. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. It's okay. Fine.
Yeah. This is a screen. If you can see, this is a new normal. There has been a new normal which has come to us, which is in the form of a corona, which is a bubble. We are seeing people in PPE suits. We are often washing our hands. We are often taking bath, changing clothes. The moment we enter homes, we change our shoes. Suddenly we became completely Indian in our nature, leaving shoes outside the door because it will carry infection. We were socially distancing each other. We were not meeting each other. There was work from home thing. There were many positive. These were the compliant things which we're doing. We were wearing masks. Now the mask is a necessity. It becomes a complete form of our attire wherever we go. We need to have a mask. This gives us immunity more than a medicine. That's what the doctors are saying. So this is the kind of bubble we were living with. But needless to say, there has been always a brighter side to this. If we see, we were really staying at home, putting up home, working from home. We were connecting with our own people. We can see our children closely in the morning to wake them up. We can spend some time with them. They were completely time which was solely belonging to us. There was a self-care which took a center stage in our lives. And typically we never had those Monday blues. We forgot completely nowadays, except taking sessions which begin at generally 8:30 or 9 o'clock, which is quite okay for the teachers. So there were connections which were going deeper, and we really took care of ourselves, our family. We look into the problems more objectively, and still there were new ways of doing things. There were a lot of heightened level of hygiene which was happening. We were more hygienic in ways, if you see this. And then there was complete digital transformation which took place in our country, which was long awaited. We always wanted things to happen online. So this is thanks to this COVID crisis, we are going online, we are meeting, seeing, we could connect with so many people in our field and across the field, cross-cultural, cross-field and disciplinary connections were happening. So this is something very positive about it. But when we see this crisis, it has gotten into our lives, it has changed our lifestyles completely. We have started looking into this new normal. So when we see these things, there were three kind of common mental illnesses which were actually happening in our day-to-day life. This is one is depressive disorder, which is depression only, feeling very sad all the time, feeling lost, feeling disinterested, feeling tearful, sad. These were the situations we generally handled across the helplines we were tackling with. There was this rise in anxiety, anxiousness due to these various reasons, financial crisis, because money, security, whatever we say. But still, anxiousness was very common. There was this fearsome attitude, there was this worrisome attitude in children, in adults, in everyone we came across. And thus, which leads to a substance use disorder. I'll not get into details of this. This is basically a drug addiction which happens. People were resorting to various methods to just calm themselves down. But there are other methods which we can. So I would not waste time here, and I would like to just get into some case studies which were very relevant. I really found them very important to be shared. Since we are mostly the teacher population here, we deal with children, we deal with parents. So these are a few longer cases which happened, I handled on the helpline, and we saw the results. So here, if we see, a 10-year-old's father called the helpline. As per his parents, his fidgeting behavior and stuttering increased. Body movements have worsened and is now unable to sit for a short while, even for a small academic activities done online. The parents were scared to assign him any work related to his studies, thinking that this would worsen his abnormal behavior. Despite the prevailing lockdown orders, unable to bear the son's suffering anymore, the father actually looked for options for his son and searched the helpline numbers and reached on and contacted us. So I would like this basically for you teachers to kindly show me, I mean, unmute yourself and tell me, I mean, in such a situation, if you see a student of yours in your class seeing such a thing, I mean, what would be your reaction? I mean, either sometimes we ignore such things, but being in online classes, we don't see a child who has been very regular in his classes and suddenly vanishing from the classes. So, I mean, what would be your reactions? Anyone? Anyone would like to express their views? Anyone would like to make their, I mean, contribute to this? I mean, what would you have done in case you find such a student in your class? Because we don't have counselors and special educators in all the schools, and they are not so easily available, accessible to all the children. So we handled this case in a manner because we do not counsel the child in such a case. We have, I mean, advised the parents to handle this child in a very easy manner, to be easy on him. Like they were, as you, I mean, they were really aware parents, and they really took out time to look for the help. They were really easy on this child, because what matters is the mental health. What happens is the happiness of the child, his own self-esteem issues, his own nervousness, which he was, I mean, facing for the first time. All these years, he's always met his teacher, he went to school, he has been into a routine. Suddenly he finds himself sitting in front of a screen. And for him, this was the first ever interaction with a software thing, I mean, digital world. So this child was pretty scared in terms of handling. So we told his parents to make him involved into other activities like this. He was not playing. They weren't even asking him to go out, and because they can't go out and play. So we advised him to put him for skipping. Maybe three of them can go for skipping competition. Maybe I can do 10, you can do 20. Skipping ho gaya, and then they could have gone for some yogic exercises, typical breathing ones, which are very easy for the child. Maybe the spot jogging was the thing. And then comes some because this child refused to do any physical activity also. Then again, what next? Then we started telling them to go for these board games. Typically, this Ludo and chess and business, many other things were there. And then to start slowly playing some games online, just to make him aware how this system works. And then to make him feel secure that we are there with you. We are also new. We are also, it's okay to feel like this. These were the things which made the parents, maybe made parents aware about his problem and help him out to tide over this crisis. So this was basically a very win-win situation because the parents were very understanding. But in most of the cases, parents don't treat this as a normal thing. They treat it, क्या हो गया इसमें क्या हो गया? I mean, आपको अगर हो रहा है तो कोई बात नहीं, ठीक हो जाएगा. We dismiss most of the time. But it's very important to address these things, these fears, this worrisome situation in children. So we now move on to another one, which is another case which I came across on the Manodarpan helpline, which is run by Ministry MHRD, which is Government of India's initiative to shoot it up last month. So this is Abhishek. This Abhishek's condition has deteriorated with closing down of schools and lockdown restrictions, resulting in home confinement totally, with no opportunity to go out and play. He started crying often, and he seemed to be very sad. He was always irritable and sulking. His attention and concentration was going down day by day. He was often found himself watching videos during his online classes and later feeling guilty about doing so. He was failing to finish his written assignments and got the complaints from teachers. This made his parents worried and helpless as he was not ready to listen to them, and he was becoming defiant in his behavior day by day. And sulking way, he would shout, he would yell back, he would close the doors. He wouldn't want to listen to anything which was happening around him. This again shows us the typical anxious situation which we are watching, and this child was pretty aware about whatever was happening, but he could not figure out, how to go about it, how to handle the situation. When I can't meet my peers, when I can't go out, when I can't play, when it is a typical pent-up emotions which were there in him. And since his parents were pretty restrictive in terms of getting in touch with his friends on the phone, because they controlled many things at home, but still looking at this situation, they were pretty distraught what to do. This child is completely going down, is because what matters in our situation in Indian families is the padhai, basically the academic performance, which takes the center stage of anything. Mental health goes for a toss. We never address why the child is behaving like this. Why is he not completing his work? Why is he not able to meet the deadlines? So something they also need, since they are adolescents. He was grade 9 student, and he was typically faltering on these things. He had no one to share, to talk, because parents were pretty overwhelming. They were little overaged parents because this child was born after pretty long marriage, so they were over caring for him, kind of helicopter parenting which was happening with this boy. So he was kind of trying to break off these things. He wasn't allowed to talk on the phone, so he has no way to express himself, to have that emotional expression and outburst. He couldn't play outside. So in such a situation, but they were wise enough to again reach out to us, and they called us up, and then we managed to have sessions with the parents. First we had initial sessions with parents, which was very regular, and then we started with Abhishek when he agreed to speak to us. And we approached him from the school's helpline. We said we are not coming, because he had that fear that maybe parents ne bheja hai inko call karne ke liye. So we said your school has given us the number. We have to contact you, and we are working with an NGO. We kind of made a story to reach him out. But then this condition, after having subsequent telecounseling sessions, then we did one online session, which is again on Zoom. So that made him quite comfortable. We helped him figure out, and there was this typical patience, non-judgmental and non-suggestive hearing which was given to him. And this boy has typical problem of not able to talk to his peers, not able to go on the video calls. His friends were making groups and they were talking, but he was kind of ostracized by not joining them, because they used to say कि parents है तेरे तो तू तो parents के साथ ही friend बना के रहे. So this is something which was really hurting him. This was not the case when he was in school. School में many things you can hide, but when you are in these things, because this is a virtual reality, but it becomes real when you do not have access to the sources of communication with your friends. So this has really helped this youngster to talk about his priorities in life. He was empowered to think rationally. He was given some strategies to cope up with these things. I made him practice the box breathing technique, which is again there, and then mindfulness, then little meditation, which he didn't agree to it. His parents say he still doesn't do it, but then we tell him at least just sit like that by closing your eyes. This boy, his father was really pacified, seeing there was an improvement in his condition, and this boy often called us up to reach out. This is another case of Bharat. Bharat is a class 11 student and belongs to a business class family in Gujarat. As soon as his school's new online sessions began, Bharat's parents bought him a smartphone to carry on with his school classes and carry on his school classes and studies uninterrupted. But Bharat soon started demanding for a high-end smartphone. So what happens here? His smartphone usage has actually increased exponentially, and his unfulfilled demand for an iPhone precipitated his unwillingness to study. So Bharat was again trying to blackmail his parents that if they don't buy him a high-end mobile phone, he would not attend his online classes. He displayed a lot of defiance. Now he started sulking and he misbehaved with his parents. His parents too had no clue as to how to handle such a situation. His father did try to make him understand the financial crunch that arose due to this corona pandemic. He did tell them that we need to save money for the future because there's uncertain times which are knocking doors and there could be problem which could happen. So, but still the problem persisted. They could not handle the thing. They finally contacted the helpline. We managed to speak to Bharat, and with subsequent sessions, online sessions, we could get the reason. And the reason we could see was a typical strong peer pressure which was again facing, and he had gotten himself into some online relationships, and which were typically virtual. He wasn't knowing who was behind the scenes, behind the picture. There was no authenticity of such people with whom he was observing online. So there was a lot of typical unmonitored activities which were going online, which was done by this teenager, and parents did not bother to see this. But only parents' botherance was this almost $500,000 costed this mobile phone, which he was supposed to be, he was demanding for, but the parents weren't ready for it. But then we have had several sessions with him, and we have made him talk. So these were the issues which came, and then we were talking. We have told him to how to manage peer pressure, how to say no, how to look for his own priorities. And then this boy has found out one of the relationships he was into was a fraudulent one, which was taking him into the online gaming, PUBG, all these things. But then there was a recourse because the parents were really aware ones. They tried to address the issue, because when we can't handle things, we have to reach out to people. That is something very basic to all the problems we face. Anyone, we must create that go-to list for children. We must tell them there has to be a go-to list. There has to be some adult whom you can confide in, whom you can share your problem. There are many such problems which we face every day, and then there's no one to talk to them. There's a child calling from village who doesn't, he himself doesn't understand what he's going through. He has no one to talk about. But then, thankfully, we have these helplines, but very few people are aware about these things, how to reach out. So I just have a small slide which talks about what is the counselor's job. These 3 levels which are there as teachers, as parents, we should know. The counselor is a person who deals with life issues, including career doubts, examination stress, adjustment problems, substance abuse, etc. And we generally provide talk therapy. And we are also mental health professional. We collaborate and develop treatment plan. Then comes the next level, which is the clinical psychologist. He or she will be having an MPhil degree in clinical psychology. They are trained in psychiatric disorders, psychotherapeutic treatment, and family and marital therapy. So their work is little ahead of what we do as counselors in school, on helplines and etc. And they often work together to develop a treatment plan. Again, a mental health professional, they work with the counselor. Counselor can refer to the next level. We have these levels where we can filter out the patient or the client or the child, and then according to the time, we can give some therapies. Then comes a medical doctor, which is the highest on the pinnacle, which is psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is a person who studies psychology from a physical perspective, is an MBBS, and then does his MD in psychiatry, and they can do the prescription of the medication. So that is something very important. Only a psychiatrist can do a medical prescription, give anyone medication, the tablets and all. Because in India, in our basically profession, because of lack of awareness, many times a psychologist is also sitting and prescribing medicines, which is not correct, unethical. They are not equipped to do that. So being a teacher, we should have a basic information about these things. Then we can always filter out these things, and then we can address these issues ourselves at times and refer a person accordingly. And I hope these cases and this particular slide has helped you to understand various nuances attached to this particular field of mental health, which is very important. And soon it is going to take a very real real place in its in various forums, especially schools, where we have always ignored this, where we have not given an importance. So life skills along with mental health is going to be a very important thing which we are going to give it to our children. Then I'm almost ending my thing. So towards the end of my presentation. Great things never come from comfort zone. This is something very typical and we all know about it. Anything, I mean, this is something we are going through is not definitely we are into comfort zone right now. This pandemic is not giving a lot of comforts to us. We are sitting at home. We don't have domestic help. We are still coping with our teaching schedules. We are conducting exams. We are giving a lot of work to children. We are trying to cope up with whatever is happening around. And we are also trying to take care of ourselves, remain healthy, remain cheerful as much as possible. But dear friends, here I would like to mention that we must practice 3 M's, which will lead you to a very happy space. First thing is you have to be very mindful. Mindfulness is something here and now, and this is something very favorite to me. And I always tell in all my sessions, this is first thing. My takeaway is here and now. You have to be here and now. You have to accept what's happening around you. And another one is, second level is meditation. The third one is minimizing any negative things, especially the news, which was, there is so much uproar about corona cases. There are various news which are hitting us every day. So stop and filter them. Just try to minimize those kind of news which are negative in nature and try to walk away from such zones. So then definitely great times will happen, the change will happen. We are already into this new normal. I don't know how long this unprecedented times are going to be there, but we will do our best and remain as healthy as possible mentally, socially, and physically. So psychosocial health has to take a center stage here. And I end my session and I hand over to Ma'am Alka, who would talk about the various strategies how to remain healthy and positive in these times. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemlata ma'am. That was a wonderful session. And now we have the privilege of inviting Alka Mahajan ma'am. I hope, yes ma'am, yes, she's all set, all geared up, yes. And just for those who missed the introduction, Alka Mahajan ma'am is the supervisor in Bluebells International in New Delhi. And she is actually a media person. So, and this is the first time I think she's being on the resource panel for AIF. So we are very thankful and we are grateful that she has, organized this global healers, as they call themselves, this program for our members. So over to you, Alka ma'am. And thank you for the other Annie ma'am and Hemlata ma'am for the wonderful session that you did.
All right, everyone. A very warm good evening to everyone. This is a terrific Tuesday evening, and it's really a proud moment for all of us to be here together on this space, all thanks to Mr. Matthews. I mean, it's a great job getting all educators from all over the country together. And thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening to my team members. I'm so glad that they, delivered very judiciously, very well. And it was quite fun, right from the time we coined our name as the Global Healers. It just came as a thought and everyone just fell in love with the name. And so here we are, the Global Healers. And this is just the beginning, but as they say, all good things, when we start something new, and if it starts well, then it's almost well begun, always ends up in well done. So keeping that in mind, now I would like to talk about my segment, which is totally about, how to remain stress-free. Very simple techniques, very doable, nothing very difficult, no rocket science involved over here. So I'll just start with asking all of you, at least maybe even if you're not, visual, even if I cannot see you, but at least, all of you can just take deep breaths, take deep breaths, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I will share my screen and I will take you into a little positive visualization technique. Mr. Matthews, may I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you. So here goes. Can you see it, Mr. Matthews?
It's loading, ma'am. It will take a few seconds. Yeah, it's come.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, everybody, I would just I want to just take you on this little positive journey of, visualization, which is very positive, very fulfilling, and very empowering. So all you need to do is just, let me just start this now. So I breathe in and know that good things will happen, because breath is the power behind all things. Close your eyes and just imagine that you're in a very beautiful place. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mode, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. Recreate a beautiful scene in your mind. And while you're recreating that and focusing on that, let all stress and anxiety leave your body. Feel empowered. Get rid of any stress, any anger, any hatred, any grudges, any resentment that you've had, any depression. Feel it. Feel yourself becoming light. When you slowly open your eyes, you will feel a new you. You will feel rejuvenated. You will feel empowered. You will feel confident. And the most important thing over here is that you will be in total control of your situation. You will be in total control of your mind. Don't allow anyone to control you. That is a big trigger for stress. You know what, dear friends, it's very important to be looking after ourselves. Self-care, as they call it. And when I say self-care, I mean, my friends have talked about it also. Meditation, which we just did a little tiny meditation, maybe for 1 minute, 2 minutes. You can start with just a minute of meditation with some nice fragrance. I mean, if you can, it would be nice. Just sit in a corner, which is just your corner, and which is in your time, and just try to, visualize something, leave all worries away, and just concentrate on positive thoughts. Nothing negative, nothing in your mind. As I said, no resentments, no grudges, just feeling empowered, just feeling in control of yourself. And once that happens, you can start talking to yourself. Because believe me, if we really need to help the whole world, if we really need to help people about us, if we really need to make this world a beautiful place to live in, then we must start by first looking after ourselves. And what is important in this technique of self-care is affirmations and me time. Positive affirmations. You can say so many positive statements. You can make them up, but they should all be in the present tense. And you can say things like, I can do hard things. I make good choices. I can accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a flower to grow. I can be a beautiful soul that people crave my vibes. It doesn't get easier. I just have to get stronger. It's okay. You just forget who you are, and welcome back. Today, I have to be the best version of a person that was too lazy to be yesterday. Life is tough, but then so are you. When the going gets tough, the tough get going in life. My friend told me, my global healer friend told me that word impossible itself says, if you just put a hyphen after I and if you put a hyphen after I-A-M, you put a hyphen after M, the word will actually say, I am possible. You are capable of doing great things in this life. You are capable of doing wonders if you really want to do it. I mean, you start from a little thing and you can go on to the bigger things in life. But it all starts from your own thoughts, from your self-talk that you do to yourself. And this is one big reason that, our mind does not get stressed. We feel relaxed because we're giving ourselves that dose of power through a lot of positive self-talk. So it's very important to say to myself every day when I get up in the morning, say to yourself, today is my day. And today, I am going to do something really awesome. So that's how you need to go about it. So you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself first. Let's remember all this. You have to replace negative thoughts with beautiful colors and positive energy. You have to talk to yourself like you would to someone that you love. Because if you love yourself, you will be able to love others. You will be able to help others. You will be able to make this world a beautiful place to live in. And that is what is important. And aren't all of us talking about that? As educators, we try to make life beautiful for the youngsters that come under our care. And we can only do that if we are not stressed ourselves. So if we first love ourselves, we can easily pass on these beautiful vibes to our children, to the parents who interact with us, to our fellow educators, to our family members, to everyone all around us. And then making this world actually a beautiful place to live. Then, it's all about mindsets. They say that age, height, weight, we think about these things too much. All right, I'm already this old and perhaps I cannot really do these things. My time is over. Now let others take over. No, one has to be active throughout life. Height and weight doesn't really matter. Charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul in the end, is what Alexander Pope so rightly said. Pulse, BP, they will keep on fluctuating with age or even at a young age. Sometimes they will give us some type of trouble. But that's okay, they're just numbers. Let's not think too much about them. Let's not be hypochondriacs. Because if we do not mind, all these things won't matter. It's a mindset. We need to forget certain things in order to enjoy life. We need to actually find joy in the simpler things of life, because happiness is actually enjoying the little things in life. Beauty lies in the eyes of a beholder. You see a small baby smiling and you feel as if your day is made. You see a single rose in your garden and you think that, oh, a single rose can be my garden. It's all about a mindset. You know, there was this child who was asked by his teacher that, can you tell me what the meaning of, what is forgiveness? The child very nicely said to the teacher that forgiveness is the fragrance that comes out from a rose when it's crushed. So my friends, this is a mindset. It's all about appreciating what we have in life